You got to live your life for today. Tomorrow is not promised. Life is not guaranteed. Live in the moment. And that's key right there. Live in the moment and always share love.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Nisla Love. Previously, episode 683 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 2 years, 11 months, 25 days, and 21 hours since we last had that conversation.
One of the things I love to always impact my clients is to let them know that if they ever want change in their life, it starts with them, because they do have the power of change.
That was then. This is now. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
It's such a great pleasure to connect with you. Thankfully, I appreciate it as well that we got to reconnect 1 year after face-to-face in North Carolina. And that was really part of the inspiration to journey across North America to meet people. And it started with, you guys coming there and the energy. You came with your daughter and it was just electrical, right? And, that was part and parcel of the power of a conversation. So thank you for that at the same time, yeah?
You're welcome.
Now, when we last spoke, you were doing a ton, right? Advocate for better relationships, right? You were the marriage coach. And through Dan Miller's Coaching with Excellence, we were connected. I'd love to know what has changed. Give us an update, please.
Oh my gosh, everything has changed. So my focus is not so much on marriage anymore. My focus is on building communication. And then next year, I'll be focusing on taxes because I always loved taxes. Besides doing marriage, coaching, communication, I always did taxes. That was my major in college. And I did that on the side. But then I found myself more doing taxes. And so my energy is going to be towards doing taxes, helping small business, and also to couples. Because when I do prepare taxes, I still find myself helping people with communication, still helping people with the relationship. You'd be surprised what comes in contact when you're dealing with taxes. It's like the gate opens and everybody just spills and they want to be coached and want to improve their lives.
Well, that's intriguing. So what caused you to say, okay, this is definitely something that I'm seeing an opening for me to definitely pounce upon, right? In terms of bringing both values. What was the one time? What brought that on?
Well, like I said, I was doing taxes. I was doing it here in North Carolina on post. So I was doing that for 2 years. And I had a client that came in and I had mentioned, you casually say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my business and I'm going to do this. And she's like, you're still here? And I was like, yeah, I'm still here. And she said, are you still going to do your business? And I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. And so that, when you put something out in the world and people repeat it and you're like, okay, I guess I got to do this. Because I was doing my other communication business and it was good and I was still doing taxes. But what really triggered me was when I actually had a couple that came in and they just poured out to me. And I was just like, wow, I could do both. In my mind, I kept thinking I had to separate it. But I said I could do both and still do taxes, which I love, and still help couples, relationships. And when I also help and educate people about taxes, their eyes just lit up and it's like a newfound hope like they never experienced. And so I was like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. So I need to tie this both in together. And so that's what I'm going to be doing for 2020.
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great idea. So, and 2020, I mean, what is it, April? Is it like April is tax month there? Is it?
Yeah, that's the deadline for April. But then as for business, depending on if you're self-employed or it could be October. But yeah.
So where's the best place for people to connect with you?
Right now, they can connect me with at nislalove.com.
Yeah.
And that's Nisla.
Wow, nislalove.com. All right. So the family is in the mix, right? When we spoke, coincidentally, we spoke in November and your daughter's birthday, the oldest,
yes,
as you said to me, was like right around the corner, right?
Uh-huh.
So We're back here in November, right? And I think it's what, 20, if my calculation is right?
Yes.
Wow. So, how has everything that you've been doing surrounding relationship and communication affected the three of them? So it's two girls and one boy. How have you seen it bear fruit?
Well, one of the things I saw bear fruit is with my oldest. She's away at college now. And so, at first they go away to college, you kind of like sad and happy at the same time. And everything that you have taught, you hope and you pray that it sticked and that all that stuff that you're pouring into them has really resonated. So for her to call me and say, Mom, you were so right, or act, communication, or she had this one instance where her roommate had a problem. And so she called me, her
Mm,
roommate called me to ask me, what should we do? And I was
mm,
like, wow, okay. So just that communication of having that openness and let them know that I'm here to support and having them a safe environment. I think that has helped tremendously. And then with my son, he really touched me because I asked him, what stands us apart from other family? And he said, every time he comes home, we ask him, how was his day?
mm.
I was like, wow, just that little thing right there. How was your day? What made you laugh? So communicating that because it's letting him know that he matter. We want to know what impacted you today. How was your day? And how can we support you?
Hmm. 25 years as an Army veteran on the background there, right? And then, well, it's like 28 years now, right?
Nobody's counting.
No one's counting, right? And then on the marriage side, it's somewhere between 21 and 22 years.
uh, wow. Yes. Yes. 22. It's going to be 23 next year. I had to think about it because it's right around the corner.
So
Yep.
there you go. I mean, it's like all of this has come from you making potent choices. How have you seen that affect your husband's life?
It has changed a lot. We've grown as individuals and as a couple. And what I have seen over the years, even now, is like we're constantly learning new things about each other.
Hmm.
And then at the same time, we're open to change. We're not putting people in the box. I had made a comment to my husband because I love to decorate it. I'm very outgoing in reference to that. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. He's like the balance because sometimes I'd be like, oh, let's go over here. I could be like over the rainbow. And he's like, no, no, no. So I was like, I want to do all this stuff. And he was like, you know what? That's fine. And not to say that I needed his permission, but because we learn that we're different, that we're constantly growing. And it's okay. And we have to respect that and change. And we're starting to do things differently because now we don't have babies.
Hmm. Empty testers almost, yeah?
Almost, right?
So there's a spiritual side, right? I'm guessing that holds all of this together. Is that accurate?
Oh, yes. We wouldn't be able to do anything, and I mean anything, if we didn't have God as the center. He's our ground. He's our all in all. He's our peace. He's our love. He's everything. I couldn't be able to talk to you about what, being married 22 years, having a 20-year-old daughter, and my kids who all love God and who's following after God. And it's just amazing because, I could say that it was easy. Nothing is easy because we're in this world and we go through a lot of tribulation. But at the end of the day, we know that it is God and we always go back to Him.
How do you prepare yourself the truth of death, that it is possible that we could die today or tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. One of the way is that you got to live your life for today. Tomorrow is not promised. And at the same time, live it to the fullness. One of the things in our family that we do, we always tell each other, we love you. I give hugs and kisses to my 12-year-old son. And he's okay with that. So I'm cherishing that. And he still says, I love you. And it's so cool to hear him say, I love you to his sisters and to just have that bond and that communication. Because I tell him at the end of the day, life is not guaranteed. You want to live your day to the fullest, live in the moment. And that's key right there. Live in the moment and always share love.
What's really cool is you have moved like 14 times within 20 years. So it's not even just that you're grounded and you have the challenges that go with that. You've also had the challenges that go with constantly moving your family, uprooting, and yet you've been able to survive the storms of the raging sea of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to say congratulations and well done on that.
Thank
And
you.
it's a grand opportunity to really get back on here and have a conversation with you and hear that, things have evolved. Definitely it's evolved, but you've stuck to what's core to you. And that is 3 words that I think really stood out in the conversation, which is passion, joy, and peace. It feels as though, it envelopes who you are as you go forward. So I do appreciate that. I thank you again for what you're doing. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I just like to say thank you for just allowing me to speak. And it's just been a pleasure as always. And I look forward to great things, not only for myself, but also to you, because I know that sky's the limit and God is going to do and continue to do great things in you.
I appreciate that tremendously.
Yeah.
Nisla Love. Folks, if it wasn't enough, her surname is Love. Take that home, right? Nisla Love. Thank you, my friend, for being on what is inspired by 12-minute convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.